Okay, yeah. So today we'll discuss the history of the Citrix and what are the products we have with the Citrix. Citrix has been started in 1989. Most of the Citrix, initial developers or management team, founder, everyone are the employees of IBM. Okay, they used to work on the OS2. Okay, so what is the OS2 is? So OS2 is one of the Unix operating system. Okay, it's a OS2 is the name of the operating system, Unix operating system, and most of the companies like IBM, otherwise Accenture or Microsoft, okay, they have started as hardware kind of vendors. That means they have the IBM devices or Accenture, Microsoft, they have the hardware devices, but the operating system is OS2. Okay, IBM used to provide the support for the OS2 because Unix is an open source. Okay, for the OS2, they used to provide the support. Then they got an idea of making multi user versions of OS2. Okay, so that's a single user operating system. Okay, but those IBM employees got an idea of making multi user versions of the operating system OS2, but IBM didn't like that proposal. Then they came out of that and started with the company called as Citrus. But already some trademark issues are there with the Citrus. That is the reason they have renamed that into Citrix. Okay, the Citrus itself has been renamed into Citrus itself has been renamed into Citrix. Okay, so Citrix has been renamed. Okay, so then they made a multi-user versions of the OS2. But one thing what happened, major thing is Microsoft devices stopped support of OS2. Okay, that means Microsoft devices all those days have been used OS2 itself, but they have stopped the support of OS2. What is the thing is they got MS-DOS in those operating system. Like Microsoft has developed Microsoft DOS, then they use MS-DOS itself in those in their devices. They stopped the support of OS2, but already in 91, that means almost 2 years of R&D. Citrix has developed multi-user version of OS2. Okay, but that's got like huge failure in the market. Then what they did is they have developed multi-user version of MS-DOS. So MS-DOS is a command line kind of operating system developed by Microsoft. It's initially got huge success. Okay, but after Windows has been released by Microsoft, like MS-DOS also is out of the market. Then Citrix has developed multi-user version of MS-DOS. But even this is also is got failure. Citrix is in the huge loss, and they didn't get the success what they're expecting. Then Microsoft came with Windows NT. Okay, so then they made a multi-user version of Windows NT itself. But it's a common collaboration project with the Microsoft. Okay, so Microsoft and Citrix, it's a giant kind of venture, and they develop multi-user version of the Windows NT. But meanwhile, what Microsoft has become is Microsoft has become an IT giant. Microsoft don't want to continue with the Citrix for that product. That means they want that what is the solution developed by WinFrame. Okay, what Microsoft is expecting, so they want automatically with the Microsoft itself, they want that solution. What is the solution? What is
Terminal services.
Yeah, so making a multi-user version of the like Windows NT. Like there is no concept of terminal services also is there. WinFrame is the common
Okay.
collaboration project has been developed, But later Microsoft has given a proposal to the Citrix. They will pay huge amount to the Citrix. Okay, Citrix also has accepted that proposal, but Citrix kept one condition. Okay, what is that condition is? What is that condition is? Citrix can use Microsoft services. On top of that, they can develop the products. Okay, because on top of WinFrame, Citrix having a very big roadmap. Okay, and everyone understood Windows is going to be retain or rule the market. Okay, then Citrix don't want to lose the opportunity only for the money purpose itself. That means they are going to get a huge money by giving WinFrame to the Microsoft. But on top of that, they have a very big roadmap also. Then they kept the condition in order to give the WinFrame is Citrix can use the Microsoft services. On top of that, they can develop the new applications also, and they can release those with the Citrix name itself. That is a huge thing. Okay, no company will accept this kind of proposal, but Citrix has sorry Microsoft has doesn't have any option. Okay, they accepted that proposal, and that WinFrame has been merged as terminal services. Okay, so terminal services with the Windows NT later versions that has been added as a terminal services. Later that itself has been called as terminal server. Then later it's called as remote desktop services. So initially it's called as terminal services, later terminal server. Now it's called as RDS. And what is the protocol used by terminal server, terminal services, or RDS? What is the protocol?
RDP and
Yeah,
ICO.
Yeah, no, no.
RDP,
Yeah,
ICO is a Citrix protocol.
yeah. RDP is that remote desktop
Desktop services.
protocol. RDS is the terminal services, or it's a server feature, but the protocol for the remote connection we are using is
RDP.
RDP. And any idea what is the port number for RDP?
Double three eight nine. 3389,
Double
sir.
three eight nine is the port number.
89.
Double three eight nine is the port number we are going to use for this. Okay, so then uh, RDP is also not Microsoft proprietary protocol. Okay, so there is one company called Polycom. So Polycom has developed some remote connection kind of feature. Again, Microsoft has acquired that feature, but they removed that remote connection. But only they took the protocol. That protocol they kept as RDP is that like a remote desktop protocol 3389. But Citrix have their own proprietary protocol itself. Citrix have their own proprietary protocol. ICA or ICA will call, having two port numbers. One is 1494 and second one is 2598. We have two port numbers. ICA 1494 is one port number. For session reliability, we are going to use one more port number 2598. 2598 is another port number. Okay. Then, like here, Citrix initially, as we discussed, named as Citrus. Okay, but it's changed to Citrix due to some trademark issues. Mainly focus on the multi-user versions or remote access versions of the operating systems itself. Okay, so then in 95 they released WinFrame, a multi-user version of the Windows NT, but with the WinFrame it's not released into the market itself. Before itself, Citrix has been acquired that. Okay, Microsoft licensed Citrix technology to develop terminal services because Citrix is the leader in that multi-user versions. Okay, and Citrix got huge success with the MetaFrame server. Okay, so what is the concept of MetaFrame server is, anyhow, WinFrame itself has been not released into the market because that has been acquired by Microsoft itself. Okay, then what is the concept of MetaFrame server is, instead of giving the Windows NT server to the multiple users, apps installed on Windows NT can be delivered to any device. Say at that moment the device is not mobile devices. It may be a Linux device, Unix device. Okay, so to those devices also, or maybe we have a legacy systems. To those legacy operating systems also, Windows applications can be delivered. That's a very innovative solution in those days, and Citrix has become an IT giant. Okay, so till the time, like it's a startup kind of thing, but very good technical team they have. But Citrix has become a very big IT giant with the MetaFrame server. Okay, but in order to use the MetaFrame server, it is using Microsoft Terminal Services itself. That means even for the Citrix today, RDS is one of the mandatory item. That means Microsoft terminal services, we are going to use it. Okay, so Microsoft terminal services only they are going to use. On top of that, MetaFrame server developed Windows applications hosted on the Windows NT server can be delivered to any device. Those can be delivered to any device. That is the concept of MetaFrame server. MetaFrame server. And what is the protocol they use is, they have developed the ICA itself, and ICA in the ISO OSA model, it belongs to presentation layer. It belongs to presentation layer. In order to respect ICA, Citrix has renamed MetaFrame server into presentation server. Okay, so till 1.x, 2.x, 3.x, Citrix kept the name as the MetaFrame server itself. Later they have renamed that one into, later they have renamed that into presentation server. Later they have renamed that into presentation server. Why they renamed that into presentation server is, ICA in the ISO OSA model, it belongs to presentation layer. It belongs to presentation layer. In order to respect that ICA, because they are getting huge success, because Microsoft having terminal services RDP, but very unique proprietary protocol from the Citrix, and they have lot of patents on that protocol, that is ICA or ICA. In order to respect that one, Citrix has renamed that one presentation layer like a presentation server. Okay, Citrix has renamed that into presentation server, and Citrix got the huge revenue, right? If any of the company got huge revenue, next products, most of them, they don't develop from scratch. What they will do is, they will acquire most of the companies like this, like GoToMeeting, they have acquired with a company called Expert City. Provisioning services they have acquired, Netscaler they have acquired, GenSource they have acquired. So they want to expand into other areas also, and even Zen Mobile also they have developed. Okay, so like this, Citrix has been exposed, like expanded their services, and now recently also they have acquired one workforce management system called Rike. Okay, so lot of acquisitions has been done. Okay, so initially WinFrame, WinFrame to MetaFrame, MetaFrame to MetaFrame to
Presentation.
presentation server, and later that presentation server itself has become,
Zenap.
yeah, presentation server itself has been become the Zen app. Presentation server also is a huge successful product from the Citrix. Okay, so huge successful product from the Citrix. Okay, after this, what happened is, Citrix acquired one company called ZenSource. Okay, so ZenSource and VMware almost started at 98, 1999, like this. They have started 1998. VMware has started. ZenSource also is a common collaboration project with the Cambridge University and MIT University. They have developed an open source hypervisor called as GenSource, and Citrix has acquired GenSource and renamed this into Gen Server. They have renamed this into Gen Server. And what is the meaning of Zen is it's a virtualization. Okay. Then Citrix want to rebrand all their products into Zen. That is the reason Gen Source they have renamed into Gen Server, and presentation server they have renamed this into Zen app. What is the meaning of Zen server is? It's a server virtualization. Zen app meaning is, what is the meaning of Zen app?
Virtual application. App
Application
virtualization.
virtualization. It's application
Virtualization.
application virtualization.
Virtualization.
Yeah, Zen app is an application virtualization. So now here, if you understand, like if you go for the Zen app, the people doesn't know. Okay, so people doesn't know like before ZenApp also they're giving virtualization itself in the application, but the people doesn't know the word virtualization in the technology. Virtualization become into the market around 95, like this theoretically. From 99 onwards, practically that solutions came, but before itself Citrix has given application virtualization. Okay, so that is the innovation and focus what Citrix having compared to other companies. Even they're very innovative compared to Microsoft. Microsoft innovation has stopped only at the Windows itself. Later they're surviving by keeping the dependency of the Windows itself. But Microsoft also knows Citrix is very innovative kind of company. Okay, then what is the Microsoft hypervisor?
Hyper-V.
Yeah. So GenSource code is on Linux kernel they have. Okay. Then Microsoft also realized they also want to have a hypervisor. Then the GenSource code they merged with Windows and they release a Hyper-V. If you understand here, Citrix and Microsoft are like sister companies. Okay. So that means they will exchange the technologies, they will share the technologies, but what is their target is not allowing third party companies to come into that market. Okay, so even from the GenSource code itself, Microsoft has took the code base, instead of Linux kernel they integrated with the Windows and they release the market. The product is, what is the product name? Hyper-V.
Hyper-V.
Hyper-V is also a server virtualization solution from the Microsoft. Okay, so then GenSource itself has been renamed as Gen Server and presentation server has been ZenApp. Then, based on provisioning services, Citrix has developed one more Zen desktop also and Zen mobile. What I'm trying to tell here is Citrix has rebranded all their products into Citrix has been rebranded all their products into Zen. Okay, because they want to move into Zen. Okay, after virtualization, what happened? So cloud came into the market. Okay, so then here Citrix has acquired another very good company. Okay, even which is Hyderabad base also is there. Cloud.com. Okay, so Cloud.com has been acquired by Citrix itself. Cloud.com has been acquired by the Citrix itself. It has been acquired. Okay, so then in the middle, like they have merged with the Microsoft to Zenap and Zen Desktop, they have merged into the single solution. They have merged. Okay, the presentation server itself has been rebranded. Okay, why? Because they want to come into virtualization suite, and they have renamed Zen Desktop, Zen Server, and Zen Hypervisor also. Zen Desktop, Zen Server is called as Zen Hypervisor also. Okay, this rebranding, they want to become the leader in virtualization market. But in the server virtualization, we have leader. Who is the leader in server virtualization? Who is the leader in server virtualization? So VMware ESXi server is the leader. Okay, so VMware ESXi server is the leader in server virtualization. Okay, so in desktop virtualization and application virtualization, we can call that as VDI itself. Okay, who is the leader in that? In app
Citrix.
virtualization, yeah, Citrix is the leader, no doubt about that. And what are the key features we have is, so going forward, we'll discuss all these also. HDX technology, okay, high definition experience. Okay, whenever we have graphics, multimedia, audio, content has been delivered to the users, because we are going to get all these over the network, right? User experience is bad, but Citrix has develop one HDX high definition experience. User never get a experience of that application is running somewhere and rendering to the client device. User experience is on top, okay, by using the Zen app. If you are using other remote connection kind of protocols, RDP, PCO IP is there, one more is there, PCO IP. Okay, so but new protocols also is coming, but those are nowhere near to ICA. Okay, say if I tell one term, if Microsoft acquired ICA, then there is no need of a company called Citrix. Okay, so except ICA, so everything Citrix is sharing, but their proprietary protocol is doing the wonders in the app virtualization and desktop virtualization. Okay,
Sir,
and it's yeah.
sir, what is the difference between RTP and ICA protocol, sir?
I see. That is itself their how their drivers they're connecting that programming what they've developed for ICA is making the
Mhm.
magic for the Citrix. So that we'll
Okay.
discuss. There are a lot of features are there, security wise, performance wise, driver connections, virtual channels, encryptions. Okay, there are a lot of differences compared to ICA versus RDP. Okay, ICA is the leader in that in all those.
Okay.
Okay, so now here in the Zenab wise, the key features are we have a hybrid kind of delivery and it supported cloud also. Okay, so then Zenab 6, we have Zenab 6, 6.5, 2011, somewhere it got. Then Zenab 7.x. Later what they did is they renamed that into virtual apps and desktops. Virtual apps and desktops. And another solution we have is Citrix provisioning services. So Citrix PBS is also, so we have Citrix has acquired one company, okay, Ordinance. From this, they got the product called Citrix PBS. And in the initial days of Citrix PBS streaming technologies, in the initial days, hard disk cost is very expensive. OS installation also is very challenging kind of thing. In the US or in the Europe, most of the companies has used Citrix PBS for their booting. That means if they go for any of the government office or any bank, insurance, healthcare, universities, railway stations, airports, everywhere they will see the Citrix logo when they're booting their device. Okay, but that solution they're using in their devices is Citrix PBS, very, very good technology. And it's at that moment we can call that as like a alien kind of technology. That means without installing the OS, without doing anything. Okay, so the devices are getting booting the operating system. So today those are not the innovation kind of technologies, but Citrix came with that innovation very early itself. Okay, Citrix came with the provisioning services, but provisioning service not renamed into Zen Desktop. Okay, so try to understand for the Zen Desktop, like till 4.x features, base is PVS. Okay, so later from 5.x, they have integrated MCS also. So PVS versus MCS also are the two different imaging technologies we have with, so two imaging technologies we have with Zen Desktop. Okay, so with the Zen Desktop, we have two technologies we have. One is provisioning services. Second one is mission creation services.
Yes.
Mission creation services. Both are uh, uh, very good technologies itself. But initially we used to have the PBS. Later we moved to MCS. But currently now, lot of companies are using MCS itself compared to PBS. Lot of companies are using MCS itself. Okay, PBS stands for provisioning services and MCS stands for mission creation services. Among these two, which one is getting more popular?
MCS.
MCS is getting more popular, but definitely Citrix engineer required knowledge on PVS also. Okay, so MCS engineer required, sorry, Citrix engineer required the knowledge on, so PVS also is required. Okay, so now we'll discuss more on the Citrix PVS also going forward. It's a very good solution, but a legacy kind of thing with the cloud and with the advanced technologies not required the PVS with the virtualization and the cloud, but with the physical devices in order to boot without having the hard disk, without installing the operating system and patching, all we can do with a single instance. Then Zen Desktop, like we got till 5.6, we got Zen Desktop. Later both Zen App and Zen Desktop has been merged into, so yeah, so here we have the unified architecture. Okay, both Zen App and Zen Desktop has been integrated, and in say here we need to have one more term and mandatory. We need to understand architecture wise. Zen App 6 and 6.5 having one architecture called as IMA. Okay, IMA stands for Independent Management Architecture. So Xenap 6 and 6.5 having the architecture called as IMA, but from 7.x we don't have IMA. Now that is called as FMA, FlexCast Management Architecture. Now even we need to explain the differences between IMA versus FMA is nothing but it's Xenap 6.5 versus 7.x. What are the major changes has been performed architecture wise is like nothing but IMA versus FMA. IMA stands for
Independent management architecture.
independent management architecture. We have with the Xenap 6 and 6.5, but FMA is with Xenap and Xendesktop both have been integrated, unified into a single console. Okay, we have a lot of changes has been there between that 7.x. Now that architecture is not using IMA, it's called as
FME.
FMA. FMA stands for
Like cache management
Cache
architecture.
management architecture. Flex cache management architecture. So we need to discuss even the flex cache management architecture also we need to discuss.
Sir, before Zenap 6, is there any other architecture, sir?
A presentation server is there, but they're not using IMA kind of thing.
Okay.
Okay, they're not using IMA, but from Zenap 6 onwards, they started IMA, they used to call.
Okay, sir.
Okay, but still there are some differences between presentation server to Zenap 6 also. So Zen 4.52 presentation server 4.52. Please rejoin once. Hello.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.